Information, please. Paul Villiard. When I was quite young, my family had one of the first telephones in the neighborhood. I remember well the polished oak case fastened to the wall on the lower stair landing. The shiny receiver hung on the side of the box. I even remember the number, 105. I was too little to reach the telephone, but I used to listen with fascination when my mother talked to it. Once she lifted me up to speak to my father, who was away on business. Magic. Then I discovered that somewhere inside that wonderful device lived an amazing person. Her name was Information, please, and there was nothing that she did not know. My mother could ask her for anybody's number. When our clock ran down, Information, please immediately supplied the correct time. My first personal experience with this genie in the receiver came one day while my mother was visiting a neighbor. Amusing myself at the tool bench in the basement, I whacked my finger with a hammer. The pain was terrible, but there didn't seem to be much use crying, because there was no one home to offer sympathy. I walked around the house sucking my throbbing finger, finally arriving at the stairway. The telephone! Quickly, I ran for the footstool in the parlor and dragged it to the landing. Climbing up, I unhooked the receiver and held it to my ear. Information, please, I said into the mouthpiece just above my head. A click or two and a small, clear voice spoke into my ear. Information. I hurt my finger, I wailed into the phone. The tears came readily enough now that I had an audience. Isn't your mother home? Came the question. Nobody's home but me, I blubbered. Are you bleeding? No, I replied. I hit it with the hammer and it hurts. Can you open your icebox? She asked. I said I could. Then chip off a little piece of ice and hold it on your finger. That will stop the hurt. Be careful when you use the ice pick, she admonished. And don't cry. You'll be all right. After that, I called Information, please for everything. I asked her for help with my geography, and she told me where Philadelphia was, and the Orinoco, the romantic river that I was going to explore when I grew up. She helped me with my arithmetic, and she told me that my pet chipmunk, I had caught him in the park just the day before, would eat fruit and nuts. And there was the time that my pet canary passed away. I called Information, please, and told her the sad story. She listened, then said the usual things that grown-ups say to soothe a child. But I was unconsoled. Why was it that birds should sing so beautifully and bring joy to whole families, only to end as a heap of feathers feed up on the bottom of a cage? She must have sensed my deep concern, for she said quietly, Paul, always remember that there are other worlds to sing in. Somehow I felt better. Another day I was at the telephone. Information, said the now familiar voice. How do you spell fix? I asked. Fix something? F-I-X. All this took place in a small town in the Pacific Northwest. Then, when I was 9 years old, we moved across the country to Boston.